Okay, we're going to start the day by getting a chicken in the crock pot. I did clean the sink very well. We're probably going to need about 5. That way the chicken has something to sit on when we put it in here and it's not sitting on the bottom. Let's go ahead and get our chicken ready. This is the chicken we got from Tammy's church. They have the legs bound, but I don't want them bound when I'm cooking in the crock pot. I did leave the neck on. I don't want that. I'm going to rinse them off with cold water. Dry it off a bit. Now we are going to put this in the crock pot breast side down. Put some oil on it. We're going to add some salt. And some pepper. And you know I wouldn't be me if we weren't doing Italian seasoning. Rub that all over. We're going to put him breast side down. Now we're going to dry the back side. I'll wash my hands really quick. Put a little bit of salt on this side. Pepper. And some Italian seasoning. I'm putting aluminum foil on top because I don't think the lid's going to fit until he cooks down a little bit. And I do want to hold in all that heat. I have it cooking on high for 6 hours. Bring you back when we're ready to move on to the next step of that chicken. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Vicki and you're with Grammy in the kitchen. So far we have our whole chicken roasting in the crock pot. And now we're going to go ahead and get started on our pizza. But the husband wants me to do something different. So you know we make 4 freezer pizzas every time we make pizzas. But he wants me to try to make a pan pizza. I have the large cast iron skillet. I'm going to put this in the oven and let it warm up with the oven. This is something new for us and I'm excited to see how well this is going to turn out. So I've got the oven coming up to temperature and I'm going to go ahead and put the skillet in there now. If you've seen the videos before where we make our own pizza sauce from our home canned pasta sauce, that's what we're going to do today. So I just dump this into a bowl and I add a tablespoon of oregano, garlic powder, and onion powder. Mix that in well and it makes the perfect pizza sauce from a pasta sauce. That way I don't have to can 2 different products for 2 different applications. I can just can one and then adapt it as needed. Now we're just going to mix those in. Right, now we're just gonna wait on our pan and oven to come up to temperature. My oven actually has a pizza setting. It's at 400 degrees, so I'm just waiting for everything to come up to temperature and then we'll start making our pizzas. I have polenta, which is basically a coarse cornmeal, and I'm going to use this to coat the bottom of the skillet just so the dough doesn't stick. The oven is up to temperature, but I'm going to leave that pan in there for about 15 minutes just to make sure that pan is steaming hot. Time is starting now. The pan is hot. I'm going to leave this pot holder right here to remind me it's still hot. So we're going to put a little bit of avocado oil in here. We're going to sprinkle some cornmeal, but in this case it's polenta. And this time we're not cooking it on the parchment paper. We're actually just going to add the pizza right inside. Just be really careful because it's hot in here. It's going up the sides just a bit, that is perfect. Let's add a little sauce. Going all the way to the edge. Now I'm not sure how long this will cook to par bake, but I will keep track of time and let you know. So it took 20 minutes. I have my cardboard with some parchment paper. Oh, that came out beautiful. Oh, look at that, so pretty. Now we're going to go ahead and get a second one in here while the pan is still hot. A little bit of avocado oil, some polenta or cornmeal. And our pizza dough. A little bit of sauce. Back in the oven for 20 minutes. And we're just going to do what we normally do, is add some more sauce and add cheese, and when it cools off we'll wrap it up and put it in the freezer. And I don't know if you can see it, but the bottom is nice and brown, and oh, it's beautiful. Alright, I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator while we work on the other pizzas. Alright, so we're only doing 2 in the pan pizzas because this is just a test recipe. The other 2 we're just going to do like our normal hand tossed, or in my case, rolled pizza. The second pan pizza is out of the oven. I'm going to go ahead and put, this is the hand tossed, the rolled pizza. Alright, so we're done with the skillet. Alright, let's add some pizza sauce. Some cheese. Alright, now this one's going to go in the refrigerator till it cools off and we can wrap it up. Our pizza proofing bags are going to go back in the freezer until we're ready to make pizza again. Now we're going to go ahead and put the second one in. And just like always, we're going to add some sauce and some cheese. Put this in the refrigerator, let it cool off. Once it's cooled, then we'll wrap it up and stick it in the freezer. I love having, well, okay. I love cooking. I mean, that's why I invited y'all into my kitchen. But I like to have convenient foods. I like to have foods that all I have to do is just heat up from the freezer, and then the husband will have something to eat when I'm unable to cook that day, or if I'm just too lazy to cook that day. And pizza is one of our favorite food groups. Alright, let me get a piece of parchment paper and cover this. Now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let it cool. It's not even noon yet and we already have dinner cooking in the crock pot and we almost finished with our freezer pizzas. It's going to be a great day, guys. So we don't need to make yogurt this week because I made a batch last week and I have plenty left in the refrigerator to get me through to the next time I need to pick up my milk. But I do have the 2 half-gallon jars of the raw cow milk we get every week. I'm decided I'm going to attempt to make farmer's cheese. Farmer's cheese is one of the easiest cheeses to make. It just takes milk and vinegar. I like experimenting with the raw cow milk on different things you can do besides yogurt, because you know I love yogurt. So this time we're going to do the farmer's cheese. Now so far we've made mozzarella successfully. We've made ricotta cheese and turned that into raviolis. And then we've made sour cream. Now we're going to make farmer's cheese. So let's get started. So I have the Dutch oven. Now we're going to go ahead and dump our milk. I'm going to go ahead and collect whatever heavy cream is left in here and put that in our milk also, because that's just going to add some richness. Now we've already separated the heavy cream from these 2 jars and we have that in the freezer. I'm averaging about a pint of heavy cream every week, which is perfect because I like having heavy cream at the ready when I want to make something with Alfredo or something very rich. Heavy cream is good to make sour cream with. I have a half a cup of white distilled vinegar. Now the recipe I was looking online does not give me a temperature to cook this to. It just says cook it for about 30-40 minutes until we start seeing bubbles. We do not want to bring it to a boil. Once we get to that stage, I will take a temperature of the milk and let you know where we're at. So I'll bring you back once we get this heated up. Now you do not want to walk away when you're heating milk, because it will go from hot to boiling to overflow and get all over a stove, waste their good quality milk, and make a mess that we would have to clean up. And we don't want to do that. So we're just going to stay right here and babysit this milk. It has some bubbles, but I don't know if that's because the milk is frothing or if it's producing bubbles. But we are at 165 degrees at the moment, and I am constantly stirring. I'm only stopping long enough just to see if I can spot any bubbles making. You can see the bubbles, but that might be just frothing from stirring. So we're not quite there yet. It might be like yogurt, 185 to 190 degrees. Okay, we're at 170. So the question is, should I call it at 180 or continue to wait for bubbles? All right, that is 180. Because the instruction says to heat it up till you see bubbles, but not boiling. I see bubbles, but that's from stirring it. That's just froth. But I don't want it to cause bubbles and be boiling. What do you do? Okay, I think I'm starting to see bubbles. Alright, so we're gonna, 180 degrees is where we're going. So we're gonna turn it down to low. And then we're gonna slowly add in our half a cup of white distilled vinegar. And this is where it's going to start separating the whey from the curds. You can see it already. Alright, we're going to leave it on low for 30 seconds. Alright, 30 seconds later, we're going to turn the burner off. Just give it a stir. Oh, look at that. That looks really cute. And because I have a gas stove, the cast iron grates on here stay hot. So I do want to remove it from the heat of the grates. So I moved it over, and now we're just going to let it sit here until it cools off or comes to room temperature. Then we'll move on to the next step. Our farmer cheese has cooled off. In the sink I have a big bowl, the big strainer, the small strainer, and our cheese bag or milk bag. Now we're going to scoop this out and put it in there. We're going to just pick it up and dump the rest in here. do want to go ahead and salt our cheese. So this is our Redmond's real salt. I'm going to put about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to massage that in. And then we're going to strain it again. We're squeezing as much of the whey out as possible. So I have a large plastic container. I have the part of the mold that doesn't have holes in it. Then I have the mold with the holes in the bottom. This is going to be inside of that. We're going to form it in here the best we can. The other half of the mold with the holes in it on top. We have a 28-ounce can of tomatoes. I just have it covered in plastic wrap, that way to protect the can from the liquid and the liquid from the can. So that's going to go right inside here. We're just going to put this in here to use it as a weight. And now this is going to go in the refrigerator for a couple hours, and then we'll have farmer's cheese. And then we'll do a taste test once that's ready. Chicken's been cooking for 6 hours in the crock pot. It is ready. Let's do this. It's probably gonna fall completely apart. Yep, it is. Okay. Just gonna take it out by pieces. The leg. The wing. I love it when it comes apart like this. It is perfect. It'll take shredding so much easier. This is a breast meat that, well, the whole breastbone came out. Wow, that is awesome. I love it. I have a second bowl here that I'm going to put all the meat in, and the bones we're going to leave in this original bowl. It is hot. So all the bones and bits are going to go in the freezer for future stock. Half of this chicken we're going to make barbecue chicken for dinner tonight. And then the other half we're just going to put in the refrigerator or freezer for fettuccine alfredo one day. So I'm just running the knife through it, just rough chopping. There is one fly in here. It's getting on my nerves. Just mixing the white and the dark meat together. So I have a bag labeled cooked chicken. And we'll put this in the freezer. That way we have a head start on dinner. Well, we need to make fettuccine alfredo or a soup. But I think it's going to be fettuccine alfredo. So this is some home canned barbecue sauce. I make homemade barbecue sauce when I make the husband's pork barbecue in the jars, or when I can it. And I always end up with a little bit left over, and I just go ahead and can it along with the pork barbecue. It's okay. It's fine. Pork barbecue has to cook longer than barbecue sauce, but I just can them at the same time. That way I'm not running the canner for just one small jar of barbecue sauce. I have all the pizzas wrapped up like I normally do, but when we go to reheat the pan pizzas and enjoy these for either a snack or lunch or dinner, whatever the case may be, I'm going to bring you along because I am very excited to see how well this thaws and heats up and eats. It's going to be good, but I want to bring you along with this anyway. Alright, now I need to put these in the freezer. Now I want to go ahead and check on the farmer's cheese. So this is our can. We wrapped in saran wrap just to protect it. The top one with the holes. And it did extract some liquid. That is what we wanted. Let's take our cheese out of our bag. Oh yeah, that looks good. All right, let's go ahead and taste a little bit of this. It's not firm where it's all connected, but it's firm enough to hold together. Does that make any sense? Let's see how well we did this cheese. It's not cheese like you think of, like it's cheddar cheese or a mozzarella. It still has the milk taste to it with the salt, of course, but it's pretty good. I'm very happy. That would be really good on like a biscuit or something like that. Or as like cheese on a sandwich. That's actually really good. Well, I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me today. While we put a chicken in the crock pot, we made farmer's cheese. We finally got our pizzas together, and we're doing a test on the pan pizza. It's pretty exciting. So for dinner, we're just going to have barbecue sandwiches with some green beans that we cooked yesterday in the canner. And we're just going to call it that. So if you don't mind, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. We would love to have you part of the Grammy family. So until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family. So we're going to put some of our farmer's cheese right on top of our barbecue sandwich. Just like that. And we have our green beans that we canned yesterday. We have our farmer's cheese. plus our 4 pizzas, leftover chicken for a future dinner, plus the bones that we have in the freezer for future stock, and our barbecue chicken. It's been a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.